What is up, guys? It's Torius here, back with another video. Today I'm gonna be talking to you about dealing with negative friends, just negative people, just negative anyone in your life, co-workers, family members, whoever. So hit that like and subscribe button if you're new. Comment what your thoughts on the video are, and if you have any more questions, ask me and I'll answer them in a video. So let's get started. First of all, dealing with negative people is hard when you're trying to become a positive person, right? Because let's say for me, for example, all my life I've been a negative person, so I've attracted negative people in my life. So it was always friends who, because all right, there's always a stigma like, oh, boys will be boys, and boys will always just like rank on each other. Boys will always try each other, that's all normal, but there gets to a point when the people that you're around reflect who you are, right? So if you think negative things about yourself, you're gonna attract negative people around you, and those are gonna be who your friends are. They're gonna be just people that are negative in general, right? I'm not saying all my friends are negative, but I have noticed that my friends would put like more negativity in my head than I would need, and just make me think more negative, because I was always a negative thinker all my life, right? Like if anything happened, like let's go out here, I would think, oh, what if this, what if that, just overthinking it. By the way, overthinking is just another way of saying negative, right? Overthinking is just another way of saying negative thinking. So I would always think the worst situation, and I think it comes from cartoons and TV, right? Because I've watched cartoons and television all my life, and I was basically raised off of it, and all that stuff is basically negative. So like whenever people say, what's the worst that could happen? That gets implanted in your brain, and then you start thinking, oh, what's the worst that can happen? And you start literally thinking about the worst things that can happen. So you start thinking, what's the worst thing that could happen? My bad, I was getting a text. You start thinking literally, what's the worst thing that can happen? So then you literally start thinking about the worst things that can happen, right? So that's why I always, I never realized that, but then I started watching TV, and the TV would always just reiterate that, basically. So when you have people around you, your circle is very important. I was speaking to my boy yesterday, and I was explaining to him, the fastest way to get rich is to just have rich friends, right? If you just surround yourself with rich people, then you'll be rich. And he want to argue with me, talking about, nah, I don't believe that, because then they won't give you money. They're not gonna just give you money. And I was like, it's not about them giving you money. It's about just being around it and having that brush off on you. Because the thing is, if all your friends have $18,000, then you're not gonna just be having $500. You're gonna have at least 15,000, at least 10,000. I was never hanging around people that had at least 18,000. Then they had, at least 10,000. So I feel like once you start hanging around, because there was a point where I was hanging around people that had that kind of money, and then I noticed that I was, more financially stable when I was hanging around people like that. The people that I had that I was around that had more money, I was rubbing off on. They were rubbing off on me, and I was getting that money too. But it just made me work harder. I was less lazy, But then once I started hanging around more lazier people that just just want to smoke all day and just not really do anything, that's when I started noticing my bank account depleted, and then I was getting lazy too. And I was like, damn, I'm becoming lazy, and I realized that it's because the people I'm hanging around. So then I started. Because the thing about it though is that people that are rich, that's why they have country clubs, right? It's a club, it's exclusive. You can't just get in there unless you're rich, right? And it's for a reason. Because let's say a club, for example, right? A club, they don't want people wearing jeans. They don't want people being all dusty. They don't want people wearing sandals, coming in with shorts and shit or whatever. They don't want people that look raggedy, because then it's gonna make the club look raggedy, and then people are gonna be like, I don't want to go to that club. It's all full of raggedy people. So the people that are upper class, people that have more money, they're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna just go to this club because it has higher, what is the word? Because of the higher expectation or whatever. That's higher standards. So people are gonna want to go to that club just because, you know, the people there are more prestigious. So basically, that's the whole reason I say the fastest way to become a millionaire or to become rich is just by hanging around rich people. Because if you hang around 4 dummies, you're gonna be the 5th one. If you're hanging around 4 winners, you're gonna be the 5th one. So if you are able to even get into that social circle, if you're able to even make a social circle, because rich people don't want to hang around broke people, because rich people know and they understand that if they hang around someone that's broke, then they're gonna be less money, they're gonna be more broke. So they get rid of, that's why even like rich kids, like there's a stigma, there's like a stereotype on rich kids, right? Where people are like, oh, rich people, like rich kids, they always like, there's a saying that goes, wealth skips a generation, right? But I don't really believe that, because I feel like if you're a rich kid, you're pretty much gonna stay, like there's no way that you could be a rich kid and then just sink all the way to the bottom and become super poor, right? It happens to some people, but not all the time. And I feel like some people hear those stories, and it's because the thing is like the rich people, they always get all these stories told about them, right? They always get said, oh, rich people are evil, rich people are greedy, rich people are this, rich people are that, right? Like my brother, for example, I would always have this argument with him saying that rich people, because he would always say that rich people were evil, rich people are greedy and eat the rich and all that stuff, right? And I would always tell him like, bro, you have more money than me. That makes you more rich than I, right? Like you're more rich than me. So you're talking about eat the rich, but you have more, and he's because I don't believe in labels, right? Rich is just a label, because you can have $100,000 and become considered a 6-figure earner, but then once you have $99,999, you're a 5-figure earner. So are you not rich because you have one less dollar? You get me? So, and also even with the seven figures, if you have $999,999, but you're making it 6 figures, you're not making 7 figures. You're making 6 figures. So are you still a millionaire? No, you're not. You're a 100,000-aire. So does that make you rich? Yeah, you have a lot of money, but you're not a millionaire. If people consider millionaires rich, some people say, oh, a millionaire doesn't have, rich people have, you know, like if you make $100,000, that doesn't make you rich. Because I come from Miami. Here, the standards are a lot more, you know, crazy. So people are always like, oh, that doesn't make you a millionaire. Like if you have $100,000, that doesn't make you a millionaire. So there's no label on a million. Here, let me just change this. All right, now that I'm beautified, what am I talking about? So yeah, just because you have $1 million, does that make you a millionaire? Because my brother would have more money than I did, and I would say, okay, you have more bread than I do. Does that make you rich? You're more rich than I am. So am I evil? Are you good? I mean, are you evil? Am I good? Because I have less money than you? Like there's this book I read. It's called Magnetic Wealth Attraction, and it explains that you are not more spiritually righteous just because you make less money, right? Like people think that, like in Hinduism, it's considered more spiritually acceptable to have less money, right? But the thing is it's not really more spiritually acceptable, because if you have no money, then who are you helping, right? I'm actually getting off topic. You know, basically the whole topic is friends, right? Negative people. It's hard dealing with negative people. That's true. But if you have them in your life, the best thing to do is just to have more positive people. Because I always say, would you rather have negative money or would you rather have positive money, right? So it's the same thing with your mindset. It's the same thing with the people in your life. Have negative money, have negative. Would you rather have negative money or would you have positive money, right? So that's basically it for this video. Comment below what your thoughts on it are. if you have any negative people in your life, like what's your way of dealing with them? If you have any questions about negative people, just ask them in the comments or send me an email or send me a DM on Instagram, Torius. And with that being said, I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Peace.